morning, everyone. On behalf of Hitendra Patel and Dr. Haza and the GCIO, I'd like to welcome everyone to this special session. It's our monthly speaker series of GCIO. Before anything else, I'd like to welcome you to the GCIO. We are a network of organizations co-founded in 2021 by the Dubai Government Excellence Program and the Global Innovation Management Institute in the pursuit of driving innovation leadership around the world. In its pursuit of building and sharing knowledge in the field of innovation, the mission of this global council is to assemble like-minded entities to exchange best practices around development and implementation of innovation models, and to drive research for new innovations for making organizations and cities more innovative. Represented here are some founding members from the Dubai Government Excellence Program, from the Global Innovation Management Institute, from La Salle, Ayala, Innovate AS as institutional members, as well as ambassadors, Gemma Isles, Carolina Duran, Akindelende Babatunde, the current membership of the council so far. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce our featured speaker for this evening, for today. It's no less than our co-member representing La Salle, Barcelona. It's Professor Pique. Professor Josep Miquel Pique is the president of the International Association of Science Parks and Areas of Innovation. He's also the executive president of La Salle Tecnova Innovation in Barcelona. Additionally, he is the president of the Catalan Network of Science Parks and vice president of the Spanish Network of Science Parks. The central line of its activity is to promote knowledge-based economy and society in order to consolidate Barcelona as a global reference of knowledge cities on smart cities. Professor Pique is a leading voice in the global conversation around innovation and technology. He has been instrumental in advocating for policies and initiatives that support the growth of science parks and innovation areas, helping to connect communities and foster collaboration across borders. Throughout his career, Professor Pique has demonstrated a deep commitment to creating positive change through innovation. And the subject tonight is exactly around collaboration and innovation. Without further ado, let me turn over the floor to our Professor Josep Pique. Professor?
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining today. Today is tonight. Today is this morning. Good morning, good lunch, or good after coffee, good tea, or good night. Whoever you are in this world, we are in the same life. And today, when we're talking with Hitendra Patel and all the people of Jimmy and the Global Council of Innovative Organizations, we were thinking, how can we share some lessons that we have been developing in different areas of the world? That's the reason why the Global Council for Innovative Organizations exists, is for sharing knowledge and for connecting people. That's the reason why also Dubai is supporting this global initiative. How can we share our lessons and our learnings? The idea is to talk about a very important topic from my point of view nowadays, about not only about innovation. We know that innovation is one of the more important elements that can transform whatever challenge we have. Is also how to orchestrate our ecosystems of innovation. This is something more complex, but we have in our cities, in our nations, different actors, different agents that are developing innovation. But the challenge is, how can we add value from all our capabilities? For that, I am going to share some slides that I will use during the next 25 minutes, more or less, 30 minutes. And with that, we have the opportunity at the end of of this presentation, the possibility with Vincent to open the door for any talk or any idea that you want to interact. The first thing that I would like to share with you is my agenda. My agenda will fly to different places of the world, but I will start with a key element for understanding what means innovation. And innovation means a lot of things, but one of the best definitions that I was learning from Jerry Engel, professor from UC Berkeley, was how to transform opportunities in value. But for that, we need really the capability to manage in an appropriate way talent, people, the key resource of the knowledge-based economy, technology that is not only a tool, is the capability that we have for transforming realities in new prosperity, and talent and technology are the two elements that we can really use in the best way for scaling and also for developing new ideas. Talent and technology is productivity. Talent and technology is competitiveness, but also talent per technology is employability. And now more and more when we have times of ChatGPT, that it seems that our work is really a concern about what makes sense from the human being. The idea is that what is the best ecosystem that we can really create around this talent, technology, and capital for developing opportunities and create value. And this ecosystem includes a third element that beyond talent technology is critical in any new venture, is capital. Capital of business angels, capital of venture capital, capital of corporate venturing, public finance that help the people that are starting a new idea for transforming this idea in value. But where is coming from this talent, technology, and finance? Because in one hand, we know how important is the role of the government, creating the laws, the taxation, but also stimulating as a public procurement, a tool for buying things that are not existing. This is important because government is not just a regulator, can be an innovator, can be the first in class adopting and accelerating new applications. Also, it's important to include the role of universities as the source of talent and technology, because education, the first function of the university, is important, but education has an output that is talent. Research is important, but research has another output, is technology. And the third function of the university is how can we impact in our community with new technology-based startups. It means that we believe that one of the key elements that the university has to promote, has to contribute to the ecosystems, is transferring not only talent technology, also new technology-based startups. Because if we have startups, we'll have deal flow of innovation for corporates that will do innovation buying startups. Yes, I am telling you that the best way to do disruptive innovation sometimes is not just to create indoor, is to create absorbing this innovation. For that, we believe that if we combine government, university, and industry, the triple helix, we have to add another helix, is the helix of the quadruple helix, is the society, is the demand side, is the market needs, at the end of the day are the challenges. You know that there is a big movement of the triple helix, quadruple and quintuple helix. Quintuple helix is the environment. But the challenge is that when you are creating an ecosystem, this is not only about you, it's about you in relation with, and relation with for what? And that's the moment that we need to orchestrate sometimes in a vertical way with clusters, using the model of Porter, or sometimes creating clusters of innovation. It means following the framework of Jerry Engel, Professor Jerry Engel, is how can we combine entrepreneurs, venture capital firms, and corporations. With all of that, what we see is that this is not about us individually, as a person, as an organization, is how can we combine the different agents, university, government, industry, or the industry, corporate entrepreneurs, and venture capital firms. With that, we have the challenge to create a region that the innovation is, because it's not only providing a good place for research and to invest, also using this slide from Tappan Monroe that was talking about the ecology of innovation, also good food, wine, and coffee. And why Tappan Monroe, an Indian person with a PhD in Berkeley that was living in Silicon Valley during a long time, decided to include good food, wine, and coffee in a slide of innovation? Because this is about quality of life of the talent. That's the moment that you feel and you look at the ecosystem of innovation, not only a good place for living, also not only a good place for working, also a good place for living. That's when we discover that is the real raw material of the knowledge-based economy is talent. We have to provide an ecosystem for personal and professional development, an ecosystem for economical and social development. With that, we see that this is not only in terms of local dimension, because we know that any research is coming from any researcher from any university is creating global science, because science is global for definition, because the methodology of research is global when you create new papers or whatever. Technology must be global, industry must be global. We are in this global world where the market is a global market, but let me focus in the square that is at the right down. It's just it's local market. And from my point of view, this is the more important tool that we have in our ecosystems to stimulate innovation. Is our cities as labs, our regions as learning regions, as a place that we are learning locally in order to scale globally. That's the moment where we discover that we are the first mile of innovation. That's the moment that we discover that we're learning locally in order to scale globally. Because at the end of the day, this is not only about we as a local hubs, also it's we as a global hub of innovation, where we connect as the Global Council of Innovative Organizations, connecting different ecosystems of innovation. That's the important role of connecting different places where we provide the highways, triple helix highways, universities, government, and industry, for allowing the talent, the technology, and the finance for growing globally. With that, and taking advantage of the lessons of 22A, the District of Innovation of Barcelona, we defined a framework for understanding ecosystems of innovation and orchestrating these ecosystems. In one hand, with the hard factors, with the urban infrastructure and construction. Urban planning means where are the places where we develop the activities of our ecosystem, but also with the soft factors where we connect science, technology, industry, and market, the clusters. We are connecting and we're specializing different ecosystems, but also with the role of the companies. In one hand, attracting new companies or creating new companies. It means combining both to attract companies, but also with the creation and growing of the companies around our ecosystems. And the last one, managing talent. Managing talent means how can we manage talent in our ecosystem, not only in attraction, also in creation, development, and retention. This is important because nowadays it's very important as a raw material of the knowledge-based economy talent. It's important to manage it. For instance, in Barcelona, we have the international desk, talent welcome desk, for any talent from the world that wants to come to Barcelona. We have a landing process for everyone. This is important for developing all this strategy of talent. But the challenge is not one individual action. The challenge is how can we orchestrate all these actions together. And that's the moment that we need tools for orchestrating ecosystems of innovation. When you have one company, it's not easy, but you can manage in a vertical way what is happening in your organization. When you have a city or region, you need to manage that universities, government, and industry work together with the civil society for a common purpose. And that's the moment that we discover a tool that we are sharing now with you, and we're very happy to explain in deep during all this presentation and interaction with the questions, that we need a common purpose. We need to connect the assets and the activities that we have now for a common vision in order to orchestrate the challenges and actions for working together. In other words, if a place like a city wants to develop something special, something interesting, something relevant, we need to be sure that we're working together in a common purpose, in a common vision. That's the moment that we have, in one hand, the vision as a goal that we have together. You know that a good way for creating a vision is to fly to the future, to fly 20 years time, and to come back to the present and to say, that's the vision. That is very difficult to fly until now to the future, but you can fly to the other's future. How Barcelona was visioning 20 years ago, and now where we have. How Dubai was visioning what to be 20 years ago and what they have. It means different people were creating different visions. And vision is inspiration. Vision has two combinations. On one hand, the path dependency, but on the other hand, the opportunities. What opportunities we have. And benchmark is very, very important. That's the important role of global concept of innovative organizations, because we're sharing our vision, we're sharing when benchmark how Barcelona, Dubai, or other cities and regions of the world are doing the vision and also on implementing this vision. Second, it's important not only to create a vision, it's to co-create the vision. It's to be sure that it's not my vision, it's the vision of everyone in the ecosystem. This is a process of co-creation, of collaboration, because if you are co-creating, the people will have commitment. Without co-creation, it will be a top-down vision that whoever disappears, the person that will decide the vision will disappear. You need to engage the people with this vision. And with that, if you know where you go, where you want to go, you can identify what challenges you have for this vision and what actions. It could be very theoretical, this, but let me go to different examples in the world that we're creating. And let me talk and start with my case in Barcelona. Barcelona was the European Capital of Innovation in the year 2016, trying to combine the industries, the government, the citizens, and the universities. But the important thing was that it was a challenge because in the crisis to the year 2012, 2013, we had a deep crisis coming back from different elements of Europe, and the city decided to work together. This is important, together, because it's not together. This is not one city. This is 100 cities, or 1,000 cities, or 1 million cities. If we live in the same city, it's because we're sharing what we have as in one hand. In the path dependency, what history we have the heritage, but what history we're writing for the future. The important thing that this was to invite the triple helix agents to talk about the vision, but to talk about the challenges, because the vision at that moment was, let's work in order to go exit of this crisis. And we understood that the crisis, we had three challenges. In one hand, internationalization, on the other hand, the role of the public local authority to be more active, the funding, the talent, the society, and the connected Barcelona. It was the challenge. And after the challenges, we started to work with projects that were solving challenges, connecting the Oficina de Atención a la Empresa, one-stop shop, in order to be sure that the city council was very fast in providing services to the citizens and companies, or the Barcelona Economic Showroom for showing the city of Barcelona, or the Cibernarium for training talent with digital tools, or the MS Startup Barcelona was an accelerator of startups of the mobile sector, or different events like the Mobile World Congress. The important thing that we had the vision, we had the challenges, we had the projects, but we were evaluating if we were advancing in these projects in a common way. It means we were creating a governance to evaluate every 6 months if we were advancing or not in this project in a common understanding. And it was not just to say a penalty or to say you are bad. No. How can I help you in order to achieve this project? This is important because if you are not evaluating, your project will be devalued. And that's the moment that we understood that we have to combine the assets, the vision, the challenge, and the project. The same like Medellin, that as you know, they had a big challenge in the 80s and 90s, and they decided, I love this project because they had the worst place to do innovation in the world. And they transformed Medellin in a place, the best place for doing innovation in a moment in the year, in some years in Latin America. And the tool that they were doing was the Pacts of Innovation. How can we work together with a common purpose? But to work together with a common purpose is a lot of conversations, a lot of dialogue. I am not winning. It's not a win-lose. It's a win-win dialogue. And the important thing is to create this commitment and also to celebrate this commitment and to evaluate this commitment. The important thing is that different projects were delivering the vision. And with that, Medellin, during some periods in the moment, were the best city in Latin America in terms of innovation. Let me tell you, because I am here, I am professor in the university, and I always talking with truth. I have a warning now in Medellin, because nowadays it seems that they are not following the pack now. If you are not following the pack, you are going to lose all your work. But during the moment that they were working together, they were doing a wonderful work, Let me fly to Santa Catarina, a very interesting place where, you know, Florianopolis, you have people, very smart people in Florianopolis, that they create an ecosystem of innovation, not only in Florianopolis, in all the state of Santa Catarina for developing innovation. In this case, the strategy was to work not only in one city, to work in different cities, from Florianopolis to Chapecó, in the side near Paraguay. In any case, the important thing is that they were creating a tool, the innovation centers, and they put innovation centers around the 14 cities in order to create the innovation centers as epicenters of this ecosystem of Santa Catarina. But if I have to choose one project that is really working very well, is Porto Alegre. I remember when I was in the year 2015 in Porto Alegre, when GCIO was inviting me and the mayor to stimulate the people to innovation. When I arrived in Porto Alegre, they were in a sad city with corruption, with no safe, with a situation of they were not trusting in each other. But the important thing, and let me tell you, that it's about people and organizations, people like GCIO or Luis Carlos or Balestrin or different key people in the city were combining what I say the more important thing, the university alliance. Different universities were working together as a triple helix. The tool was the university that was moving the rest of the helix to work together in the Pacto Alegre. The important thing on that was not only to the commitment of the rectors, also the commitment in this case of Marquesan. After that, Melo now is leading very well the Pact, and Luis Carlos, and also the role of the companies. More than that, are the companies that are paying and supporting and financing the Pact of Innovation. The important thing, it was a signature, because signature means commitment and celebration, but we were doing the constitution of the Mesa del Pacto, is the table, is the base the place where all the members of the 79 members of the Pacto Alegre, the agents, they have meetings every 6 months in order to evaluate if they are advancing or not. In what? In the vision. And the vision was clear. We want to be a reference innovation. But for what? For the best of our citizens in our city. But how? Juntos, together. Keyword that nowadays it seems that we are losing. It seems that it's time of walls, and we believe in times of bridges, in times of connecting people. And juntos means together in what we want to be together. If imagine, I am from Barcelona, I am from, but I am supporter of Barcelona. I am not supporter of Madrid. Sorry for that. But what I mean, juntos in what we decide to be juntos, in what we decide to be together. Important manifesto because it was the common understanding that they wanted to work together. And with that, they were mapping all the assets. They were identifying challenges of talent, of transformation, of urban transformation. They need they are developing a cuarto distrito, like a 22 Also, the image of the city, or the quality of life, or the modernization of the public administration. The tool was the same. Challenges and projects. And projects could be common projects or bottom-up projects, individual or common, but all the projects connected with the challenges. Projects like Instituto Caldeira, now a reference of innovation, or Saudi Digitale, or different projects like the Marca POA. Important thing because all the projects were publicly evaluated. Evaluation, public evaluation, for understanding that we had a commitment and we want to advance. And in the process, perhaps we identify that something is not running. In that case, we put a red in Educación Transformadora. Nowadays are working very well, and now the city of Porto Alegre is leading La Ciudad Educadora, educational city. But we needed red on the table in order to advance in a yellow or advance in a green. Let me finalize my presentation with Goiás case. Goiás is a place that if you have been in Brazil, there is near Brazil. It's a very nice state, very interesting state, and this is a challenge because they have a big state, and the process was the same. That's the reason why I wanted to share today that there is a methodology for that, tools. First, mapping and stimulating the people with the triple helix agents, if they agree or not. Creating a vision. What is the vision that we want? The vision for what? And with that, we make a call for members of the PAC, and the last March, we're doing the signature of the Goiás Go, a very nice logo and image of the PAC. And now we're starting to identify the challenges and to launch the project. I hope that this methodology is a good methodology for whoever and wherever you are, because the key important ideas is we need a long-term vision. This is not about tomorrow. This is about in 10 years. It's about our children. It's about not only about me. It's about how can I create the best way of helping the new generations for growing. Clear leadership. This is about who sleeps or not with that. And if you don't feel that this is your responsibility, you don't have leadership. And responsibility is not only one Napoleon leading. Responsibility is everyone with a commitment of leadership in whatever they're doing. But let me tell you that always help when you have a mayor and you have a governor, you have a rector that is leading. For sure, we need this kind of leadership, for sure. The commitment of the agents, universities, government industry, it's not only economy, it's also the university has to be committed. And also, let me tell you, the policymakers not only one party or another. You can have different policymakers. Everyone has to be committed. Involving citizens, because this is about the four helix, and also understanding challenges, working and delivering projects. That's the tool, that's the unit of delivery, the project, and evaluate how these projects are advancing in order to create a good governance. But this governance is a continuous process every 6 months. And every 6 months, perhaps we have a new challenge. COVID was a new challenge. We need to create new projects on that. Porto Alegre was doing very well that, because they had organized the ecosystem and they could react very fast with new challenges. And with new challenges, we have new projects, and with that, we'll transform in the urban dimension, economical dimension, social dimension, and the governance. That's all from my side. You have here a book, now it's in Portuguese, but it's coming, the new version in English. But in any case, happy to share with you and to open a discussion, Vicente, about the Pacts of Innovation as a tool for urban, economic, and social transformation.
Thank you, Professor Pique. That was a very insightful presentation. In fact, there's so many moving parts, and these are very complex concepts that you have made so simple for us today. Now, we'd welcome anyone to get on the floor, to maybe unmic. Please raise your hand or put your questions on chat. But while you're typing, maybe I can go ahead if that's all right. First of all, the examples that you shared, Professor Pique, were very inspiring. But I do understand normally it takes a long time and a lot of effort to transform a city, especially one like Medellin, who had their own problems decades back. Now, capital will not flow if there are no opportunities. There will be no opportunities if there's no talent. And talent would really not come if, as you said, there's no good wine and good food and an artistic place. Even, I mean, if we take from Richard Florida, right, that it's the knowledge workers, the creative set who would only go to cities that were attractive enough to attract them, to had enough creative elements, right? Now, given it takes a long time, and there's this this chain that we talked about, how did Medellin and your other examples do that transformation so quickly when it takes a long time to develop cities, to attract talent and so on?
Thank you, very important person, because needs time, but needs also to involve people, and people usually needs time for conversations and common conversations and generous conversations, what we want to achieve together. I remember when I arrived to Porto Alegre, when I had a big meeting with the top companies in Porto Alegre, they told me, Josep, this is not possible here because there is corruption, and I told them, okay, good. I propose you 2 changes, or you change the name Porto Alegre, Porto Triste, sad harbor, or you honor your name Porto Alegre and to start to create a place where the young people, when they finalize the studies, they will not fly to Sao Paulo or to London. They will stay in Porto Alegre. Important thing to create prosperity and hope, because without common hope, the people will live, and if our young students live, we lose the real raw material of the knowledge of the economy, talent. For that, I believe that we have to make conversations, and everyone has to understand each other, make conversations between universities and companies and public administration, and all together for understanding what are you expecting from the others. If you are expecting talent, you're expecting technology, you're expecting jobs, or you're expecting regulation. With that, I feel that we really have the opportunity to make these conversations an opportunity to create this vision. When I make the exercise of creating the vision, I always say that we have 2 insights in the vision. what is our path dependency, what lesson we have from the past. Our cities appear perhaps 100 years, 200 years, 500 years ago. Some people were creating the city. It was, let me tell you, artificial. But now this city needs a regeneration, a renovation of what they do. On the other hand, you need to be inspired for the trends of the future. What is happening in the future? Sustainability, food, energy. With that, you combine the opportunities with the capabilities, and you start to share a vision. And let me tell you that when you go place by place, only when you make a conversation, all the people in the same table, they agree very fast. But the important thing, Vincent, is not the vision. The important thing is the conversation for creating the vision. Because perhaps in the future will not be blue, will be green. But if we have the tool for creating and adapting the vision, we have the conversation for adapting what future we need. Important conversations, important triple helix conversation, quadruple helix, and a process of co-creation and evaluation of all of them.
That's wonderful. Cristanto, let me give the floor to Tammy, and then we'll go to our colleague from Indonesia, Cristanto. Tammy, would you like to unmic and ask your question audibly?
Or we can read the chat, whatever.
Yep. Or yeah. Okay. Let me read it. Whoop. Sorry, it's scrolling. Yep. Tammy asks, would you discuss the need to balance between innovation for social good and that for profit?
Yeah, I feel that. Thank you for this question because it's important. Innovation is not about business. Innovation is a process of challenge. You can have challenges, social challenges. You can have economical challenges. More than that, you can really combine social and economical challenges and trying to solve both sides. We, in the projects that I am developing, always we have social challenges, and we have to work in order to try to solve these challenges with innovation. If they are social, we can really work on that with these social challenges, trying to use the tools of innovation for solving challenges that could be housing, could be food, could be whatever SDGs we have as a challenges. Because with these challenges, we can really start to solve these challenges with some ideas that can come from startups. Startups that could be profit or non-profit. You can create a social impact with profit if you really understand that you have to be with a proposal that are solving in a very cheap way something. Economical and social can make a dialogue. More than that, economical, social, and environmental, ESGs.
Wonderful. Yeah. We'll go to our colleague Cristanto from Indonesia.
Hello. Thank you, Vincent. Thanks, Joseph, for sharing. This is Cristanto from Jakarta. We in Jakarta, Indonesia, have been discussing triple helix or quadruple helix for ages, actually. And we all agree that triple helix is the key for innovation. But the reality is, how can we make, as you call it, conversation work in between the academics, the government, the industry, and the society? Because it seems that so far we have not been really effective in making them doing conversation on innovation so that we can come up with a common vision, common target, or a passion, whatever. But different language, how can you unify successfully the conversation so that it leads to innovation? In our belief has been, because we haven't been successful, we always say, it is because of we haven't got a good leadership. Okay. Now the problem is now in innovation, what kind of leadership would be most suitable because if you're talking about governance, of course, we will expect somebody from the government, top officials, whatever, government agencies, minister. But if you're talking about the need for innovation, we have to talk to the customer or the industry. And if you're talking about how strategies, systematic way of doing that, then we talk to academics. But we haven't been successful to make that kind of leadership happen. So could you advise something on that? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your question. You're right. The challenge of leadership, who is the leader, or how can we combine this governance? My recommendation, sometimes it seems that you need somebody from out of the box that is helping the process. In the tradition, in the Catholic tradition, we had the prophets, and also we had always prophets, people that are coming from outside of the reality and help like a coacher in the process. If you ask Hitendra Patel or Manuel Mendes or whoever, or Vincent or my person to help any process, as I am not from Jakarta, it seems that I am neutral in the process of coaching you in the process. My recommendation is always put somebody that is outside with high reputation, I say Hitendra Patel or whoever in terms of like Hitendra Patel, for helping in the process. Because sometimes when you are in the same place, nobody's prophet in their place. It's some this is the traditional way of telling us that we need to be sure that we involve different agents, but somebody's helping the process. By the way, I had a dinner yesterday in a restaurant from Jakarta in Barcelona, and I was enjoying, by the way, the food. It means that in terms of food and quality of life, you have a wonderful quality of life. It means that that's something that you have. But in terms of orchestration, my recommendation, put when you need a psycholog for helping you, a psychoanalyst, it's the same. The ecosystems needs a person or that is helping you, or a team. And I say you, Hitendra, or my person, or Manuel, or Vicent, for helping you. And the Global Council for Innovation Innovative Organizations can help you on that. If you need help, we will love to help you, because our movement is for transforming realities. We created this network for transforming realities. And what we want is not only to be happy that our reality is good, is that we help you, Cristanto, in this transformation. Happy to help. Whenever you want, we can have a meeting with the Prime Minister, with the mayor of the city, or the rest or the rector of the university. And more than that, I invite you to visit Barcelona, or Manuel can help you in order to visit Boston, because sometimes you need to fly to the future. My recommendation always is to put the 12 key people, the 12 leaders, 3-4 universities, 3-4 people from the government, 3-4 people from the Chamber of Commerce, and to fly to the future. It's not about Barcelona, it's not about Boston, it's what they look together in Barcelona for the best of Jakarta. That's the moment, or Indonesia. That's the moment that I feel that could make sense. Happy to help, and also the Global Council for Innovative Organization will be very happy to help you, and also if you want to join our global network.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Madame Zulpat, would you like to ask your question? Or maybe I should go ahead, it's a short one. The question is asking to describe the governance lessons, Professor Pique.
Yeah, my recommendation in governance must be quadruple helix governance, must be not only one party, different parties all together. It's not only the major party, it's going to be different universities and different companies all together. This is about, I say that the Pacts of Innovation always has the door open to whoever wants to add, and open to invite the people that don't want to add to be out of this Pact of Innovation, because Pact of Innovation means adding capabilities, not I say that we have to add or we have to multiply. If we have to not to add, it's better not to be in the pack. My recommendation is like this governance usually could be an association, foundation, or simple an agreement of all the agents working together for this manifesto, this vision, and this way of managing these projects, challenges, and projects.
Yep. Thank you, Professor Pique. Two questions from our colleague, Dr. Osama, of the Dubai Government Excellence Program. The first question is about the importance of working as a city in building an environment for innovation. So let me give you the first one.
Yeah, you're right, because my understanding, the unit of work, more than the nation, is the city. Because the city is the place where the people is living, is sharing, is working, is playing. At the end of the day, the city is a wonderful unit for interacting. The city is the place of hope and the place where the people can really interact in a good way, universities, government, and industry. And also, in the case of Dubai, I was learning a lot, and you are doing an incredible work using the city as a lab, using the city as a place for developing things that are not existing in the world. The first eVTOL taxi that is flying like a drone was in Dubai. Why? Because you decide to allow the innovation flow. It's impossible to do that in Barcelona now because the rules are not accepting. You can do a lot of things using your city as a first mile of innovation.
What wonderful, and I agree with those points about Dubai. The second question of Dr. Osama is, based on your experience with Dr. Pique, Professor Pique, who should be the owner or the driver of implementing projects, and who would be responsible for the governance of monitoring the progress of the projects, plus who provides the budget?
Thank you, Dr. Osama. The unit of analysis, I say vision, it's a governance, challenges, it's governance, but projects you have to deliver one by one. You have to create a PMO, the project management office. You have to deliver project by project. Could be public projects, could be private projects, could be public-private, but the unit is a project. It's about project management. You have a goal, you have resources, and you have deliverables. That's the important thing of projects. We were developing with LaSalle and with Karina Rapetti a methodology for implementing projects in a governance of the ecosystem of innovation. Project means project management. And at the end of the day, you have a portfolio of projects in the ecosystem of innovation, 10, 12, 20 projects. But the important thing is not only one project of one. You are sharing everybody what they are doing. And you can join efforts for working projects individually or projects in a common way. It means different agents working together in a project.
Well, thank you. We have Manuel, our colleague from GCIO and Jimmy, Manuel Mendez.
Thank you, Vince. Hello, Professor Pique. My question is regarding the differences that you see between the ecosystems. Challenges are different when you are building this type of ecosystem or energizing this type of ecosystems in, let's say, Korea, Europe, or Latin America, or even US.
Yeah, you're right, Manuel, you're very right. But let me say that in China, in Dubai and Barcelona and Brazil, all the children are crying in the same way. In Dubai, in Melbourne, in Philippines, and in Barcelona, we sleep every night. What I mean, we have a lot of things in common. More than that, we have common challenges in this world. But you're right, we don't have the same starting point. And that's the moment, and you know very well the Boston ecosystem, and you can explain very well, better than me, how MIT was creating an environment, the university, in connection with companies, in connection with the government, to create an ecosystem. That's the moment that we have to create an ecosystem from our reality, but without universities, it's impossible to create an ecosystem because you need education, you need talent, That's the important thing, that any university, and we have a lot of universities around the world that are not active in the ecosystem of innovation. The first thing that we have to knock the door of the universities: are you doing your job? That's the good job that in Porto Alegre we're doing, George Audi and all the people from the PUC, Unicinos, and Federal University. Important role of the university. Second, important role of the government in terms of the rules, like Dubai is doing, creating an ecosystem that is promoting really the innovation, but also allowing innovation and buying innovation. But more than that, the companies, startups. And Manuel, you know that in Floripa, you have a wonderful ecosystem. You are doing a very good job. In Boston, you have the startups as a new writers of the future. Startups are the machine that we have in the ecosystem for creating what's next. And we have to allow more and more startups to appear in our ecosystem. We have to create ecosystem, the startups promoting incubators and accelerators, and to connect them with the corporations, because we know that innovation means not only to create startups, also to connect these startups with corporations, with open innovation. With all of that, we can really create whatever is your starting point of your ecosystem, a good ecosystem. I was traveling around the world. Let me tell you, Manuel, that it's not about how big is the city. It's how smart was the decision to work together. That's the key important thing, that the triple, quadruple is working together, perhaps starting in a very bad situation like in Medellin. They were working together and they were jumping to the future. But when you manage well the ecosystem, please don't forget that you are managing well, because if not, you can lose all the work that you were doing in the past. Now Bogota is doing a very good work. It seems that jumping and working better than Medellin, and Medellin was very good. But this is not Medellin against Bogota. It's about Medellin against Medellin and Bogota against Bogota. It means the competition is yourself when you don't create the best version of your city. That's it.
And Professor, I think I'd like to add to your point. One thing that I see more and more, and that it is interesting, is the fact that when we bring government or companies to visit ecosystems such as Silicon Valley, Barcelona, let's say cutting-edge ecosystems around the world, or even Boston, it is good for them to get inspired. But what I see more and more is that where they really learn and sit and get together to do something, let's say in partnership, or to let's say get ideas out of it to implement in their hometown, is when you go, let's say, when you bring a company from Colombia to Brazil, and they are similar in terms of challenges and everything, then they have, let's say, more to exchange, But what I see is basically that ecosystems that are, let's say, similar, they have more to exchange, and they talk and they get to collaborate faster. And when they go to an ecosystem that it is more advanced, they also get inspired. So I see these two, let's say, type of dynamics or benefits for you to learn from other ecosystems, right? And one thing that you've mentioned, and I'd like to connect so you can talk about, is the fact that you said any city can be a candidate to be a let's say a player in this game. And I'd like to ask you how, let's say, to comment about the fact that nowadays companies are not playing against companies anymore. It is ecosystems playing against ecosystems, right? So I'd like to have your thought around this.
Yeah, when I talk about benchmark, I talk about two kind of benchmark: the benchmark of the vision and the benchmark of the projects. It means it's important to. I feel that for good inspirations, it's good to go to a place that is perhaps so far from you, but it's a long-term vision that is stimulating you. But I agree that in order to implement some projects, it's better to have some ecosystems that are closing to you or can be more easy to transfer. But in any case, you're right. the innovation is about you. About you means you as a city, what you want to be together. If you don't want to be nothing, don't worry, play whatever you want. But if you want to be together, the door is open for innovation. And that's the important point. How can you do things? Perhaps it was in Lucas de Rio Verde, a very small place in the middle of Mato Grosso, and they are doing things innovation. Why? Because they decide to work together in this case in the green economy, or in Rio Grande, where they want to work in blue economy. It means that every place has to find the purpose, but the common purpose. And the common purpose to create this vision and to work together in a clear governance that is from government to governance, a place that you invite the universities and companies to be committed to the common vision.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, we have 3 minutes left. Vitor, we have time for 3/4 of a question. Please go ahead.
Michael?
Oh, you're on mute though. Or the audio is not coming across.
If not, you can write your question.
I can ask a question in the meantime, Vince.
Okay.
Professor Pique, thank you very much for the insightful presentation. I have a question. From your experience working with ecosystems, from all the players, basically, that we know that the triple helix had, like startups, corporates, universities, national and local governments, which is the player who is the hardest, to work with or to align, or the one which creates more barriers or bottlenecks to push the agenda and to move forward? Is there a common player that you see is very difficult, very bureaucratic to move forward with the agenda of innovation?
Yeah, it seems that the public administration perhaps is the more reactive, because they have first, the framework is the rules, and in order to be sure that they are under the law, perhaps they can be blocked to do innovation because the law cannot allow you to do anything, the regulations. But I have found different places in the world that the public administration is the leader. Look at the case of Dubai. They are the leaders. The public administration is leading innovation and is inviting others to do innovation. That's the moment when you discover that the challenge is the mindset of the people. I remember when I was in 22@, as a CEO of 22@, that I was trying to allow the entrepreneurs could use the city as a lab, until I discovered that I could allow them to do the innovation without buying. And I was selling to the city that the best way of before buying was learning. Learning was to accept innovators and entrepreneurs in the streets. That's the moment. I feel that we have opportunities. Public administration, it seems, the more reluctant to innovation, but I feel that we have examples in the world that are leading innovation.
Great, thank you.
1 minute more, Vincent.
Can you listen to me now?
Oh, we can hear you now, Vitor.
Okay, that's faster than typing then. So it's an honor to meet you. Thank you for your presentation. Professor, here in Santa Catarina, we have plenty of cities with Center of Innovations, and you're starting to specialize them. So, but we feel like a resistance of this specialization. Can you give us some tips to make the process easier?
Yeah, what we say in Europe is a smart specialization, is to choose one of the sectors that you can be different in the world, but you can have minimum critical mass. What you cannot do is to do everything. If you have critical mass, you will never be nothing in the world. That's the important thing of the critical mass, and that's the reason why specialization is one, as Vincent said, the cluster theory of specialization. A cluster, you can create providers, customers, supporters, educational centers, if they work together, they can really impact better. My recommendation is not to choose only one sector, but you can combine IT and health, and you can create synergies between both, or IT and food, or Industry 4.0, or agro-business. It means that you can really learn from what is your path dependency and to try to select 2, 3, 4 sectors that you can really be the reference and connect this cluster with other clusters of innovation in the world.
Professor Pique, you've opened a can of worms. Very interesting and very complex concepts that you've brought to light and made simple for us. Unfortunately, our session has run out of time, but for those who can stay for an informal discussion, please do. But we're about to end the official part of this session. Thank you very much, Professor Pique, GCIO members, and our guests. Hope to see you in our next GCIO speaker series.
Okay,
Good day.
thank you. We're in touch. Bye-bye.